Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kenyan Dream Podcast with your host Felix Njogu. This is episode 3 and I'm hella excited. A bit of a different episode today because I don't have a guest that I'm talking to today, but I still decided to make this video and share something with you guys, and hopefully at the end of it all you're still going to take away something. Now, a bit of housekeeping before we get right into it. A couple of things I have learned since dropping the first 2 episodes. I want to share some feedback that I think will go a long way in improving the kind of content that I'm able to do. Number one, I have learned something that there are silent followers on the channel who are taking away something from whatever I am sharing. So knowing that is encouraging, to be honest. So if you're a silent follower, big up to you. And secondly, that there are people who have been giving me feedback on how to improve the content. So shout out to you guys as well. I'll take whatever you guys have told me into consideration, and hopefully you'll see some improvements in the coming videos. Number 3, this was quite eye-opening. Now, when I've talked to a few people and I've learned that content or messages resonate differently among people. Like, for instance, there's somebody who watched the first episode with Tom Mutunga, and they told me that their takeaway was that even if you're living somewhere, do not burn bridges, because Tom basically said when he was leaving the bank, even though he knew he was going, he made sure that he did not give the bank a raw deal. So that listener, aliniambia, that was a very strong message for him. Personally, from that episode, my takeaway was just start. That was Tom's parting shot. Just whatever you want to do, just start. And for me, even this channel has been a long way coming. I've had a Medium blog before, but I did not back myself enough to continue doing that because I love writing. I love making writing reflective content after experiences. I just love not. I can be a little bit sentimental, I know, but that's just who I am, and there's nothing wrong with that. So even this channel will have, you'll notice that a lot of content will be trying to make meaning from even the smallest of situations, because I think that's what life is about. I think it's about moments, it's about meaning, and finding meaning in your day-to-day life, no matter what you do, because that's for me, that's how you make a beautiful life. So that was something I took away from that episode. The other thing, number 4, I have learned is that people are willing to share of themselves. I've been requesting people to come on the channel, and the feedback has been quite good, quite amazing, to be honest. And so I can promise you that I have very, very, very interesting people coming up this week and the other weeks coming. Going to have people in different fields, people who've gone on different journeys, and there will be a lot of learnings to take away from that. So if you find this channel valuable to you, please do not hesitate to share this content with your friends, with your families, to help this channel grow, to help the analytics for this channel. I think that's all I wanted to share. The other thing is I'm recording this again on a Sunday after having taken part in a local race at the Southampton St. Mary Stadium. And yeah, so just want to show you this. This is a finisher's medal. I'm proud of myself. I started, the way my life is set up now is that I don't have enough time to go to the gym. So I think a few months ago I decided that I'll be going to the park every Sunday and just have a run. And over time that has turned into me participating in my first race. Hopefully keep this going. to more goals in 2024 and beyond. So a bit of tap on the back for myself. And yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about before I get into the main topic of today, which is cognitive distortions. It sounds like a big word, but it's really not. But it's something I learned this year. Now, a few months ago, I went through something and a bit personal, and I realized I wasn't all right mentally, and I knew it was time to talk to a specialist, a counselor. And while we were talking, she said she of course it starts with therapy. I think I don't know whether it's all therapies, but for me it started with her telling me talk to me about yourself, tell me about yourself. And da 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 da, I was born, I was raised, moved. By the way, it was a therapist from Kenya, so I was talking to her remotely, which was important for me to talk to someone from Kenya, because I think they would understand me more, because they basically wanajua the way they have a bit more context than talking to someone from maybe the UK. So I thought, let me talk to someone on Kenya. Fortunately, there's a platform called Wazi, and this is not an ad or anything. This is a plug, because they were really, 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 really nice. Wazi.co.k something. Check them out. So it was important for me to talk to someone from Kenya, and I talked to this wonderful therapist. And she told me, tell me about yourself. And while we were talking, she told me, I think I know what's wrong with you. You have unhelpful thinking patterns. And we went along talking, and she shared with me what the meaning of cognitive distortions, which is the topic for today. So in preparation for this video, I went online to look for a definition for you guys. And it says here, cognitive distortions are irrational thoughts that can influence your emotions. Everyone experiences cognitive distortions to some degree, but in their more extreme forms, they can be harmful. So they're just irrational thoughts that you have, and they influence your emotions. I found another article here which says sometimes because our brains are built to simplify life, reduce the amount of decisions you have to make every day. So your brain will normally have shortcuts, and this can be helpful. Like, for instance, if you see danger, time to run, or if you don't you how do I put it? Like, these shortcuts are meant to simplify your life. You understand? So, but these shortcuts, in some cases, they can be unhelpful, and they can lead you to feel to they can lead you to make wrong conclusions, which end up affecting your overall well-being. And I must include the caveat: I am not a certified counselor. This is just a personal experience, and I think if you might want to go and read up on this thing and probably identify any cognitive distortions that you might have yourself. But for me, the therapist gave me like an article or a tool that has basic summary of different types of distortions, and I'd like to highlight a few and maybe expound on what personally was mine. And some of these include personalization. This is the belief that one is responsible for events outside of their own control. Like, for instance, let's say your sister or your brother or your mom is always upset. She's always complaining, and you might end up saying she's always complaining because of me, or she will be better if I did more to help her. Like, maybe she's struggling with she has a lot on her hands, and then you end up blaming yourself and saying, I should be more helpful. But in real sense, whatever she's going through is uh, has nothing to do with you. So that's personalization. The other thing is disqualifying the positive. Disqualifying the positive here, it's defined as recognizing only the negative aspects of a situation while ignoring the positive. Let's say you have sat for an exam or a test and you have received feedback. Now maybe the pass mark is 70% and you have 71%. So you end up saying, I was lucky that I got over the test. I was only lucky, not that I deserved to pass. I was lucky. So you're disqualifying the fact that you've passed. You are focusing more on the negative bit of it. So I think a lot of people, I don't know, I don't want to make wrong conclusions, but I think some of these distortions are quite common, and like the other one, which is magical thinking, the belief that acts will influence and relate to situations. Like I'm a bad person or I'm a good person. I'm a good person, therefore bad things shouldn't happen to me. Or I am a good person, why are bad things always happening to me? That's magical thinking. The other one is overgeneralization, which is making broad interpretations from a single or a few events. For instance, here they give an example. Like I was awkward during my job interview, and then you end up concluding or generalizing that I'm always so awkward, or you hit a glass on the table, it topples over and it breaks, and you end up saying I'm always very clumsy. That's overgeneralization. Now, for me, I the form of distortion, cognitive distortion, that I think I came to identify that was very common is the use of should statements. The belief that things should be a certain way. I should, like for instance, I should always do things in a perfect way, or I should always be nice to people, or I should always. Now, for me, the thing with the should statements, they can either be inward facing or outward facing. Inward facing is now you're putting pressure on yourself, and outward facing is you're putting pressure outwards. Like you believe that people should always be nice to you, or people should always do things in a certain way. For me, it was very, 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 very inward. And these self-imposed standards will often lead to anxiety, guilt, and shame. Anxiety, guilt, and shame. And for me, I think it was all those three were present. I was sometimes I could get very anxious, and I would overthink things. And to some extent, there was a bit of shame because, there was this irrational beliefs that I should have done this by now, or I should have sold this, I should have taken care of this, I should have, it was very, in those should statements were very present, and the first few sessions she would always catch them. Oh, there you go again using should. There you go again using should. And to get over this, now she gave me tools that would, or she made me aware of the existence of these statements. So now I am always practicing that. Instead of saying that things should be this way, just let things be. Just don't put pressure on yourself. Or if you think something should be a certain way, or if you think that you need to do something, then do it instead of just putting pressure on yourself that I should have done it before. Just get on with it. Just start now, and let things let things flow naturally. And one of my biggest takeaways from those sessions with the counselor was, she said, the thing about shame is that it has no context. I'll say that again. Shame has no context, and I'll explain. So, for instance, you look at, and this is common among, I've seen people put such kind of pressure on themselves. So, let's say you believe you got a very good education, you are privileged in that manner, and you believe that, you start now believing that because your parents took you to, or they provided this very good education, you should be at a certain level in life. But you negate the fact that certain outcomes are affected by things beyond your control. For instance, you look at maybe somebody you went to school with, and you're looking at their LinkedIn, or you're looking at their Facebook, and people always post the nicest moments. And now you start looking at yourself and saying, why am I not doing as well as so and so? And when you start feeling that shame, you forget that the places that people are in life are because of so many other factors. There's so many other factors that you haven't accounted for. Maybe they had, maybe by the time they were leaving school, they already had a job, or maybe they didn't have to take care to as many responsibilities as you have. Maybe they're just gifted differently than you, because not everyone, especially when it comes to corporate culture, not everyone can handle being in such an environment. And there's people who go in, and within a year or two, and they want to come out, or people who are just built for the business life. And the shame forgets all these factors that are beyond your control. Maybe there are people who have had, since leaving school, they've had to deal with health conditions, whether mental health conditions or physical, other forms of health issues. And there are people who had to take care of their siblings. There are people who had to take care of their parents. There's just so many things that shame forgets. And when you feel shame, you've forgotten so much. And it's important to remind yourself that mostly what will be within your control is the effort that you put in. The outcome is always not guaranteed. It's not within your control. These factors beyond your control. And for me, I had so many self-directed shoots. Like, if I put effort, I should see success. But that's not how life is set up. There's people who go into business, and business fails, and just for so many factors. I look at something like the floods that are happening in the coast of Kenya. There's people whose businesses have been washed away. What can they do about that? Nothing. So should they feel shame? It would be irrational. It will be a form of cognitive distortion. So I would encourage everyone who has the ability to just go online and look at what cognitive distortions are, and see whether there are any of those unhealthy thinking patterns that are present in their life, and maybe they could be making them, feel sad, feel anxious, or feel as if they're not hitting their full potential. Please just take time and read up. But also to add that, if you feel like you need to talk to a special a counselor, or a specialist, please do that. Something I encourage, because that such information will not have come to light to me, and that's why I feel it's important for me to share this with you. So thank you for taking time to watch this, and I'll catch you guys on episode 4.